Hi guys, it's Brittany here, and today I'll be talking all about nose piercings. So stay tuned if you're interested in that subject. Okay, so I've actually had my nose pierced twice. This is the second one. I've had it in for probably 8 months, or maybe not 8 months, but quite a long time now. And this time around, I am definitely taking really good care of it, and I'm like pulling out all the stops to make sure it's healthy and it'll stay in for as long as I want it. Because the first time I got it was when I was on vacation and I was a bit younger, so I didn't take as good a care as I could have with it, and I learned from that experience, and I know now what to do and what not to do with a nose piercing to keep it healthy and allow you to have it for a very long time. So I wanted to fill you guys in with that and help you for anybody who's thinking of getting a nose piercing. So yeah. Okay, so I first want to cover what not to do when you first get a piercing. I got my piercing on vacation, which is a no-no because we were in Las Vegas and Florida. We went all over the place and it was a really fun vacation. But there was swimming pools everywhere and it was boiling hot everywhere we went also. So I went in the pools, and you're not supposed to go anywhere near water for the first little while you have your piercing, especially with chlorine, because it really affects the healing. So that's a no-no. And also just be really careful with it. Pretend it has a bandage on it, like you can't go anywhere near it for the first couple weeks. Because the more you touch it and the more if you're just tackling your friend or whatever and it gets knocked, it can get pulled out, and that really hurts. That happened to me a couple times when I first had it. It got pulled out of my nose, even just by accident. Sometimes it gets caught on your sleeve if you're scratching your nose and it'll pull out, and that really hurts. So just have to be very aware that it's there and careful. You can't be as rough with your nose as you were before you got it, so at least for the first little while. And when I got it pierced, the people who pierced it gave me kind of bad advice on what to do. I was really surprised. They actually told me to spin it once a day at least, and they didn't even tell me to make sure that my hands are perfectly clean and sanitized before I touch it. They said always just keep on spinning it so the piercing doesn't get kind of situated and stuck there. But quite honestly, you should just completely leave it alone. Don't spin it, don't touch it. If you want to touch it, make sure you wash your hands thoroughly and make sure that they are sanitized before you touch it, because any dirt and bacteria can get into your piercing and could possibly cause it to get infected, and that really hurts, so you don't want to do that. So just try to avoid touching it at all costs when you first get it, and it is really sore the first while, so it's a different weird feeling. You're very aware that it's there, especially if you get pierced with a hoop. You're very aware it's there. I just got this changed today to a little stud, but I had a hoop before, and I always felt like there's a little booger hanging out of my nose or whatever, or something tickling it constantly, because you're not used to having this little metal piece down here touching. So yeah, it feels really odd, but you get used to it after a while, and then it just feels completely natural. With studs, they feel completely natural to me right away. I don't even notice it after the first 5 minutes of the stinging going away, so yeah. The biggest one is to resist changing it right away. I know there's so many beautiful little ones that you want to put in your nose, and it's so exciting, and everybody wants to change it right away, but please resist. Let it heal for the correct amount of time. I actually kept mine in for about 3 months before I changed it. That might have been a bit excessive, but I really wanted it to heal really well, and that really worked in my favor, because I had one of mine actually fell out when I was sleeping, and I didn't realize, and when I woke up in the morning I was like, oh no, it's gonna be all filled in, and all this work was for nothing, keeping it clean and nice. And it wasn't filled in because I had let it stay in my nose for so long. that the hole was completely healed correctly and it didn't fill in yet. So I was able to just get my piercing back in without any pain or anything. So I was so happy about that. That was really good. So I didn't have to get it re-pierced. Yeah. And things like that do happen. Just remember, wash your hands, put it in as soon as you can, whenever you notice, and it should go back in. It should be alright. So that was kind of what to watch out for. And this is what you're recommended to do to get a healthy, awesome piercing. So keep your face clean. Make sure you wash your face before bed. If you have makeup that you put on during the day, just completely avoid the nose area. If you have concealer, do it like out here and just blend like to here. You don't want it covering this piercing at all. The piercing gets super irritated if you get makeup in it. So if you do, just carefully take the Q-tip and some of your saline solution or the solution that you got from your piercer and just go around there and go around the inside. And actually that's what you're supposed to do every night. You can do it, you're supposed to do it when you first get it done. Once in the morning, just take a Q-tip, dip it in the saline solution, which is just salt and clean water, or this, you get a special solution from the piercer, and you just dip your Q-tip in there, do a little bit around the piercing here, and just lightly, and put it on the inside too. And you do it in the morning and right before bed, and then it keeps your nose really nice and healthy and free of germs. And when I first got my nose done the first time, I thought, like many people do, that you need to submerge your nose in water, because everything I read about it online and by the piercer and stuff, I was so confused. I thought you had to have a bowl of saline solution and stick your nose in it, but you don't need to. All you need is a Q-tip, and that works a lot better actually. You're not supposed to submerge it completely. Some really good tips are, when your nose is healed enough to change the piercing, to use olive oil, vitamin E, or coconut oil, and apply that to the piercing and apply it to your nose. And that works as a lubricant, and it'll help your piercing go in a lot better. And applying the coconut oil periodically helps the swelling go down, because when you first get it done, it does swell quite a bit, and then it goes back to normal gradually. So that really helps. I always apply coconut oil to my nose. And I'm going to do a second video on how to get your piercings in successfully and with the least kind of trauma to your piercing. But it's best just to do it in as swift motion as you can. If you have the piercing that is kind of like, I can't remember what it's called right now, but it's like, this is the stud part, goes in like this, and then it's like an L shape bracket. Just do that in 2 swift motions, like, and just always try to get it in as smoothly as you can. So I'd really recommend, for the first time changing your piercing, to go back to your piercer. They'll do it for free, in every place that I've heard of. That's what I got today. I bought a new piercing and they put it in for me, which was really nice. And that way, you'll see the correct way to do it. They'll do it with no like trauma to your nose, because they know what they're doing, and they can give you new piercings. Like, I'm really allergic to nickel and certain metals, so I have to get a certain type of piercing. Usually stainless steel or sterling silver is okay for my nose, so I usually get that, or if I can't get that, I have to get gold. So I guess I'm very pricey that way, but I'm allergic to quite a bit of metals, and you don't want to put anything you're allergic to in your nose. Be very careful about that. It's never good for piercings. Like, it'll make them close up and get infected, and yeah, it's just not good. So it's worth spending the little bit extra on getting stainless steel, or getting ones that definitely won't have nickel, which is the major allergy for metals for people. It's worth it, trust me. Your piercing will last so much longer and be less painful too. And I learned something new today. Piercers actually don't recommend the bone studs, the ones that are completely straight that go into your nose and they have a ball on the end. Because when you push it in, the ball is bigger than the little canal that the piercing has caused. So it tears it on the way in, and then it heals itself to suit the smaller bar part of the piercing. And then when you go to take it out, the ball is bigger than it again, so it tears it all again. So they really don't recommend it. It makes your nose really irritated and tears it. So it's better to get the kind of spiral ones, or the L shape, the little hook one, or a hoop. Those are much better, and I have kind of the L-shaped one. You can see the bottom. Yeah. And these ones aren't that bad to put in. The swirly ones, very hard to put in. I would get a professional piercer to do it, because I honestly have never been able to get it in successfully. I've spent like 2 hours trying to do that. Oh, it's hard. There's an art to it. Like, you have to flick your wrist the right way and stuff, and it's very hard, especially for beginners. So I'd recommend the L-shaped kind of ones, which are easy to put in. And I would recommend a hoop if you like that one. So yeah. Also, if it's a hoop, make sure you get the right gauge. Figure out what gauge your nose is used to, because there are nose piercings that can be a lot thicker gauge, especially when you're looking in the hoops. And I've bought accidentally the wrong gauges before, and then you have to force, if you're going to put it in, like, you'd have to force the piercing to get larger, and that hurts. So I wouldn't recommend that, and it causes a little bit of trauma to your nose, so make sure you get the right gauge too. And when you're going to change your piercing, know the direction your piercing is in. So my piercing is downwards, a little bit like this, and how you can tell is you can feel it when you're putting a new piercing in. If it goes in easier when it's being pushed downwards, or if it goes in easier being pushed upwards, that's the direction that your piercing is. And if you take it out slowly, you can usually see what angle it's in at, because it's usually at an angle. So yeah, I think that's all my tips for now. Just the main thing, try not to bump it. Try not to touch it for the first couple weeks and months. Please just wait a little while before you change your piercing for its health. And mainly just enjoy it. Because piercings are sexy and you should be able to enjoy it. So I hope this helped, guys. If you have any more questions, just let me know. I'm not a professional piercer or anything, but I just wanted to let you know what I've learned from my experiences and asking questions and that kind of stuff. And yeah, I hope you guys have a wonderful day and enjoy your new piercing. Okay?